Sometimes I'll have clients and they go through like some really cool phase and they're like really excited. Oh, I'm doing this now. I feel great and everything like that. And I'm like, that's great. You're feeling great. But at the same time, you know, let's say in 3 days you don't feel so great, right? Let's just say you go through a phase where you're having some difficulty, right? Know essentially that like don't just try to come back to this phase. Don't like be chasing just the good experiences.
Yeah.
But instead embrace both the perspectives. Learn from both the perspectives. Always seek to extract the experience from the highs and the lows, right? Don't just get into this type of creating your own reality stuff to try to run from the lows. You will have the lows. Embrace the lows just as much as the highs. Don't be so attached to the highs, and then don't resist the lows either. Yeah. And then know that you're ultimately above it, so that whatever you are experiencing, you can go through with it through the whole experience with ease, without suffering. You know, as long as we are attached to the good and resist the bad, then we are always creating suffering. Then even in the good times, we're just like a time bomb ticking. Oh, when are you going to be suffering next? You know?
Absolutely, yeah. And most people, you know, they just let themselves experience the good, but not even fully. You know, even when you're experiencing the really good parts of life, you're not there. If you were to just live this life in complete experiencing mode, you were just letting yourself experience what comes up naturally. You know, people nowadays, when they get sad, they're afraid to cry fully. They're afraid to laugh fully. You know, they're just afraid to experience all of these things because they're like, oh, what will people say? You know, this is not something you do. So they just stuff all these experiences down. But if you just lived really naturally, like an innocent child, the current allotment of karma you have in this lifetime would play itself out naturally.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Obviously, you know, when you're in the spiritual path, you want to get to transcendence. Mm-hmm. You want neither good karma nor bad karma. You want to let the karma out. You want to drop the karma altogether.
In other words, just be. Yeah. Allow yourself to be more often rather than, you know, being somewhere else. Yeah. Like instead of being somewhere, sometimes just be. You know, that's what meditation is. That's what presence is, you know.
The craziest thing is people try to define themselves. They're like, I am this, I am that. Mm-hmm. But once you try to define that which is really infinite, you're making it finite.
Yeah.
You place a definition on it. You say, I am this, but I am not that. I am this, but I am not that. But the only way to really experience the infinite is to, like you said, become aware of all this bullshit you're putting on, all the clouds you're clouding it with. Once you remove all the clouds and the false conditioning, then the sun is free to shine forth. Right? Yeah, you can see the true nature.
Yeah. But I remember actually once waking up to the fact that defining something is limiting it. And like just by definition, literally. Mm-hmm. And that's so funny, I'm defining definition. But it's like to define something means to put a label on it, right? That this is this and it is not this. Mm-hmm. And so because it is one thing and it is not the other, now it's limited, right? It can only be that one thing. So don't define your experience. And that's something that's been really powerful for me. It's like, okay, I'm talking about parallel realities, right? And we're talking about like, oh, there's infinite potential. You are infinite potential. And so knowing that you have or are infinite potential. So I always do this, right? This is what I mean. Like this is you, and whatever is within this sphere is your experience. Now, if this is you and you are infinite potential, this sphere has infinite potential. Within it, it consists the potential for infinite realities. But now when you are experiencing a good reality, something that's really pleasant, it's amazing, right? And you are trying to hold on to it, you're kind of negating your infinite nature because you are very identified with something finite. Something that one reflection of your infinite potential, one possibility of your infinite possibilities. Now, same way, when you are resisting a negative experience, you are rejecting, you're saying that this is not me. If you are infinite potential, then that negative experience is equally you as a positive. So over here, you're trying to hang on to something because you think it is more you than something else. Mm-hmm. And over here, you're rejecting a part of you because you think this is not me. I want to go over there. So when you just allow yourself to be and allow yourself to experience whatever you're experiencing, now this flow can actually go through. Now, whatever you're experiencing will go through much faster. So even if you're experiencing good, it might even run out faster, or might just perpetuate into more good experiences. Or if you're going through a negative experience, it's going to flow that much. It's just going to go by your experience that much quicker. You're not holding on to anything. You know you are everything. and you just allow yourself to be, and you learn so much more, you extract so much more, you grow so much more. So it's just like literally just by being and allowing yourself to experience fully, even if it's pain, experience it fully, love it,
Yeah.
and then it'll go away, and then you'll go on to the next thing.
Absolutely.